Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
So, welcome back. So, this is the third module for week 5 and we are discussing impact of plastic pollution on wildlife, on marine environment as well as on human health and in general environmental issues associated with that. So, in the last two videos we have focused mostly on marine environment. In the first video we looked into what are the sources of plastic getting into the ocean, and in the second video we kind of continued that discussion and then we focused on what is the adverse impact on marine environment from this plastic which is getting there. So, in this third video we will have a small discussion on that which we are still left. So, few slides will kind of continue on the marine and then we move into wildlife and in general in terms of plastic from the land issue. So, from water marine environment will move to land environment where we will see how it is affecting wildlife and other animals as well. So, let us begin. So, we were looking at last towards the end you saw that video where you saw that bird was entangled in plastic, and so similar things if you go on YouTube, which I kind of encourage you to kind of some research on your own. As I said earlier, there is no book on this particular topic. We are collecting a lot of information from different sources and trying to put it all together. And remember, for every week there is we have several reading materials, not only these slides are available to you, but at the same time there are a lot of reading materials are also available for every week. So, you should refer to those reading material because there might be questions from those reading materials in your quiz as well as in your exam. So, as in continuation of the discussion, what have been found at that almost 50% of the sea turtle has ingested plastic. So, more than like 50% of a sea turtle has plastics in their body. So, that is as per the WWF report of 2018 which is found there. When plastic is there in fish, there are plastics, there are some planktons, and as you can see there are bigger pieces of plastic. So, as we have been discussing this week and also earlier that many times this marine environment species they actually get confused with plastic with thinking that plastic is actually the food, and they ingest these plastic pieces and which does not give them any energy, does not digest in their body. So, although it makes them feel full, but they do not have any energy source from these, and that creates problem. They can even starve. So, that is plastic is showing up which has been reported in many studies now, which you see the plastic in these species. Now, planktons is highly contaminated. Fin whales have a concentration of phthalates 4 to 5 times higher than in other areas. Microplastics alert even in this particular sanctuaries which is designated for protection of marine mammals. The Pelagos sanctuary is in the northern western Mediterranean, is region's largest marine protected area, and it is also one of the highest concentrations of microplastics, unfortunately. So, it is a marine protection area, but we are seeing lots of microplastics showing up there, and it is the highest sources of microplastic and comparable to those found in subtropical gears, and that is a big problem for large it is showing it is accumulating in a large quantities. Plankton is highly contaminated in this particular sanctuary. Concentration of phthalates in the tissue for whales is 4 to 5 times higher. So, long fin pilot whales and sperm whales predators at the top of the marine food chain are more contaminated than those found in Atlantic, confirming the high levels of contamination in the Mediterranean Sea. In general, the female cetaceans are less contaminated than males, but only because they transfer their contaminants to the baby during breastfeeding. So, things are also going from female to the babies. So, this is as per, there was a report by US EPA in 2016. So, as you can, plastics are getting into many of these sea animals and sea life, and which is being reported in different studies right now. And you may have seen these kind of pictures, like more than 90% of the seabirds have fragments of plastic in their stomach. And by 2050, that is as of like this is 2018 data, which is the last year's data, and by 2050 this number may rise to 99%. So, that would be a huge number. 99% of the seabirds will have plastic in their stomach. So, think about that, close to almost 100% of seabirds will have plastic in their stomach. So, this is again part of the WWF report of 2016, where we see this plastics getting into the ocean. As you can see here, the starfish actually just lying on top of what looks like a keyboard, old style keyboard, which is showing up at the bottom, or maybe a calculator, which is showing up at the bottom, where you can see things are making way into the ocean. And global, how much, if you put that in a monetary forms, in a monetary angle, again these are from the same WWF report, and we will put this report as part of the reading material. So, those of you who are interested to go and look at more detail, you will find it there. It will be part of the reading material. So, global economic cost of plastic pollution, US dollar, if you put it in US dollar, $13 billion per year. So, that is the damage to the marine ecosystem, and there is a financial losses to fisheries and tourism, because with all these plastics, it does affect fishes, it does affect the tourism. And if you look at the fishing lines are causing 65% of the entrapment in Mediterranean area. In Mediterranean species, 344 species trapped globally, of which 35% is bird, 27% is fish, 13% is marine animals, 20% is invertebrates, and the rest is others, which is provided there. So, it's affecting all the different types of species, birds, fish, mammals, invertebrates, and it's causing 65% of entrapment in the Mediterranean, which is the fishing line, which is causing that. So, lot of impact from this plastic in terms of plastic pollution in the sea. And a sea turtle, there was a sea turtle in Pacific Ocean when it was operated on. In the stomach of sea turtle, all these plastics were found, as according to the Ocean Cleanup, a foundation which does the ocean cleanup. These plastics were found inside the stomach of a sea turtle. So, whatever the picture you are seeing over here is what was inside the stomach of a sea turtle. So, think about all the different types of plastic. You see lots of plastic pieces here, different types of plastic, some toys, maybe some toothbrush kind of stuff, some small, lot of variety of stuff. And since they are got broken down, we don't really know what they are, because we have to put them all together to see the what product it was. So, but looks like pieces coming from toys, pieces coming from bags, and pieces coming from different things, like some fishing lines kind of stuff, some nets, some decorative items, some plastic bags, again different colored. And as you can see, they are not only one type of plastic, it is a mixture plastic, different types of plastics making into to the ocean, and eventually getting into the sea turtle's stomach. So, this is what came out from a sea turtle's stomach. Dolphin with a plastic bag trailing in it from its fins swims in the Fernando de Noronha archipelago in Brazil. So, you see here is a huge polythene bag, and is a bag which is dolphin got the bag is stuck, is trailing with its fin, swims there. So, the bag is swaying up, and then eventually this bag may be taken up thinking as a food. A plastic band restricts the growth of a blue striped gruntfish in the Caribbean Sea. So, you have this plastic band around the neck, which creates a problem. This is on the right hand side, what you see, it has been a like a global picture, also National Geographic has that picture as well, where the seahorse wraps its tail around a plastic cotton swab near Sumbawa Island in Indonesia. So, that is kind of all, it looks kind of shows what is happening in the ocean, where this plastic cotton swab is there in the ocean, and seahorse wraps its tail around it. So, that is and you see those showing up in particular, and so these are like different ways things are showing up in the ocean. So, this we will look at this video again, which kind of shows some of the detrimental effects of the nets on wildlife, and this was done by some student in Texas A&M. The video here, you watch the video. In between, the video has, since it is in Texas A&M, there are some part of it may sound like being in Spanish, and there are some Spanish sentences, but do not worry about that. They do have English is there mostly, but since the students seems to be from a Spanish background, they are talking part of it in Spanish too, but you do not have to worry too much about what they are talking. What is the more important is the visual. The video part is more important. Of course, the audio is there for you to listen, and but do not worry too much about those Spanish languages which show up once in a while. So, it is an English video with some Spanish languages in between. So, let us watch it, and then we will discuss about that once this video gets over.
Okay. Uy, qué feo, sí. Okay, Brie, I have my Swiss Army. Ah, usted tiene un cuchillo mejor todavía. Qué cuchote. Ok, número 1. ¿Ocupas?
Adelante.
Sí.
Cuidado.
Ay, qué cosa más fea. Ok, espérate. No, pero yo tengo un cuchillo más fino para que usted no la...
No.
Okay, could you get me like my Swiss Army knife out of my bag? Okay, tiene como una tijerita, entonces con cuidado. And get the iodine ready already because we probably have to disinfect. ¿La qué? ¿Hacemos la vuelta? Okay. Ah, tiene un anzuelo también. Okay, I need somebody to uy, sí. Okay.
Oh, shit. No tengo cuchillo.
No, pero ¿lo quieres con el grande? Pero con cuidado, ¿verdad? Porque si ella se corta. Pero que cuidado que no me cortas a mí. Okay. Uf, pero sí, ay, está todo encanado. Uy, huele feísimo. Pero vamos a poner yodo y todo. Uf, cuidado. Ok. Uf, huele. Pero no tiene ningún anzuelo.
So, as you saw in that video, it was the turtle which had nets attached to its one of the one of the arm, one of the leg had nets, a lot of strings attached to it, lots of ropes attached to it, which was creating problem for them. And at the same time, around its neck, you saw that they were trying to put it upside down so that they can cut those neck. And if you watched it carefully, around that net there was a lot of kind of wound as well. So they were basically they will try to do some treatment of the wound and then release it back into the sea. So, this is one example of the turtle, and if you watched carefully, there was another turtle on the right hand side, which had similar problem as well, which the video was not focused on that. So, this is just to illustrate a point that this is what we are talking about, this entanglement, entrapment, this plastics getting into the day to day affair of these marine life or the wildlife and creating problem. It is creating the problem, it is damaging to their health. This things wrapped around their neck for this turtle could have been there for many days, and that was not at all good for its, had it not been caught and looked into, it may have led to maybe fatality for this particular turtle. As you can see that it was really very badly wrapped around its neck. So that is just to illustrate the point which I have been trying to make in those slides. So, in between I am just showing you small videos to illustrate the same thing, and so that it reinforces the concept that we are trying to cover. So, in terms of the ingestion, what is happening, if you look at this particular graph over here, this particular study which was reported in a journal by Springer, and this is done, the title is Deleterious Effect of Litter on Marine Life, done by Bergman et al. In this Marine Anthropogenic Litter journal in 2015. So, as you can see the number of species. So, what they have tried to do is a plasticized animal species. So, in terms of the ingestion, and here it presents the number of species with documented reports of marine debris ingestion. So, they went around and did lot of sampling for different marine life, and then they looked into how many of them has like plastics inside their body, and they have ingested plastics. So, what they found was ducks, marine ducks 7.7%, divers 60%, dugongs and sea cows 60%, true seals 21%, penguins 28%, invertebrates around so these are actually not, no, sorry, they are not percent, they are actually, yeah, these are the percent, and then here we have some numbers as well. So, invertebrates more than 0.001%, whales 54%, turtles almost 100%. You saw turtles video just before. Seals 62%, pelicans, gannets and bobbies and tropic birds 24%, toothed whales 62%, gulls, skuas, terns and auks nearly 40%, albatross and other porcelaria forms nearly 60%, and then you have the fish which was around 0.3%. So, we have, it is called plasticized animal species. So, all these animal species are showing plastic in them, some more, some less, based on the numbers that they have looked into, and they found that these are the different percentages in which they found the plastic was present in the body of these animal species. So, that is kind of a concern that plastic, many of these animals are not able to differentiate between plastic and food, and they are ingesting this plastic thinking that it is a food material, and that can lead to a lot of problem in terms of starvation, in terms of all the chemicals from plastic getting into their body, getting passed from one generation to another generation, and then it may have impact on overall the species development as we progress, because things from plastic, because there are certain chemicals from plastic which are really harmful, which we will talk about as well later in this particular week. So, and so that was how much was there in terms of ingestion. Then how many of these from the same paper, same study, they also looked at how much of the animal species are entangled with plastic. So, number of species with documented records of entanglement in marine debris. So, here they found So here some of those numbers are not that high. So for example, they had only one polar bear and it was entangled, so it becomes 100%. So you have to understand that there are certain limitations of every study, including this study. So there was only one polar bear and it was found to be entangled. So they had nearly 40% for dugongs and sea cows, 60% for the divers, nearly 39% for marine ducks, 33% for penguins. Then they had GURPS, which is 26%, turtles again 100%, whales 70%, true seals 48%, eared seals 100%, and there were 13 of them, toothed whales 25%, pelicans 30%, fish 0.27%, gulls, skunks and terns they were 28%, and then invertebrates 0.06%, and albatross and other poly was 17%. So as you can see, again there is a variety. Some turtle leads the pack with 100%, and same thing with earth seals, but there are others which are very, very low as well. So this is number of documented records of entanglement in marine debris, where these species were entangled with plastic when they were like studied upon. They found them to be entangled with plastic. Now, if you look at the plastic litter in terms of how much it is into the ocean, we are seeing around, as of now, as of today. Again, when we say today, most of these will be kind of a data a year or two old, because data gets collected, put into a report, then the report comes to the public domain. So this is a report from 2018. So I assume the data will be of 2017 or something like that. So it's again the same WWF report, which is there in your reading material. So plastic litter in the sea, 80% is coming from the land sources, 20% is from the marine source. There are microplastics, macroplastics, as you can see in the picture here. Microplastics, a lot of smaller dots. You see a lot of, if you look at carefully, lots of smaller dots all across the globe. Macroplastics is these ones, and they have been kind of documented that they are also there, but we are seeing more and more of microplastics right now. And over 150 million tons of plastics which is there. 1 ton of plastic for every 3 tons of fish. That much plastic is getting into the ocean. And so in 2015 we will have more plastics than fish. So right now we have 1 ton of plastic for 3 ton of fish, and since we are doing a lot of fishing, fishing is also, we are kind of overfishing, and we are at the same time we are having more plastic going into the ocean. So by 2050 we will have pretty much more plastic than fish, or more or less the same number. So that's kind of the we are talking about the global emergency, where we need to kind of look at this issue so that does not really happen. So we need to arrest that particular problem today. Some of this wildlife or the land issues, there have been, you will see that many of times deer got entangled with a bag of Doritos and it just got into the head. Deer freed from plastic jar is stuck on its head. Bear rescued was stuck in jar, so that's those plastic jars. And fox with the head stuck in a jar. So those are, we see these kind of things from time to time reported also on the social media. We see a lot of videos showing up from time to time where this plastic is impacting the wildlife, and we're getting these issues coming up in terms of plastic creating problem for their regular kind of regular living of these wildlife in their own area. It's since the plastic goes into the forest, into the wild areas, and that creates problem for them. For example, in Thailand, the plastic waste crisis, monkeys drink from Coca-Cola bottles and suffocate inside carrier bags. So that's why many times those thin bags, if you look at carefully, it says keep away from children, things you may suffocate from these bags. So you have to use that bag very carefully. You should not put it on your on the head, but many times these animals, they do not have that much thinking ability, and then it creates a problem for them where they get entangled, they get suffocated inside the carrier bag. There was a report just early this year, just on January 31st of 2019, where the plastic waste from Sabrimala devotees kills wild animal in Kerala forest. So, we were looking at plastic getting abandoned in forest. So, 40-year-old female elephant was found dead with 2 kg of plastic waste in its stomach, in its bowels, in a forest near Holly Hill, Sabrimala in Kerala. So, the plastic articles consumed by this was believed to have been left over by 2-month long pilgrimage that happened in Sabrimala, which concluded in December, and that it was, they found that carcasses of that animal, that jumbo, under wildlife area, and when the veterinarian looked at the animal, they found that it died of constipation and intestinal blockage, because it could not digest the plastic in the intestine or take any other food. However, no similar incident have been reported to the plastic waste have been found in dung of wild animals before. So, they have this was the first which was kind of reported, which was found out. So, but this is a problem in terms of plastic getting into the animal's body. Cows in India die for consuming plastic waste. That is again a big problem. Not only cow is dying from plastic waste, since the cows are consuming, as you can see from the picture on the top over here, and many pictures from in waste disposal sites, at the landfill sites, at the dump sites, where the cows are eating the food waste along with from the municipal solid waste sources, and that food waste many times is wrapped around with a plastic bag, and that creates problem in terms of plastic getting into the cow's body, and chemicals from plastic can get into the milk as well. So, think about all that, since I am sitting say all the milk based sweets and products, we may get traces of this plastic showing up, the plastic chemicals showing up there. So, that is a big problem, and the plastic getting into the cow's body, which it does not degrade. So, they had looked at, there was one this report which came out, a charity in India made a discovery that after taking 36 stray cows, one died, and they discovered the cause. The cow ate too much plastic. So, to save the rest of the cattle, they surgically removed plastic from each cow's stomach. Now, the charity, which is Karuna Society of Animals and Nature, using the evidence to encourage everyone to Supreme Court to ban plastic garbage. So, again, that's it's rather than how to ban plastic garbage, I do not know, but because I would rather say that we should focus more on managing this plastic waste, which manage that plastic waste properly, and try to not use the single use plastic bags, those thin bags and other stuff which creates problem, which could be the cause here as well, to not to use them as much as possible. So, how cow ingests plastic in rural parts? Cow roams on the street for food. The country's waste management system is extremely bad, as we all know. So, many areas are littered with garbage. Farmers cannot afford their cows to feed, so they just let it go on the streets, and cows pick up piles of garbage, hunting for leftover. They also consume plastic, and as we are talking about earlier, and biggest plastic pollutant digestible cow is the plastic bags, mostly those thin bags, and bits of plastic consumed build up in their internal organs, which makes it difficult for cow to eat. So, milk production drops, as does the milk quality, and plastic consumption sentences cattle to a slow and cruel death. So, as per the activists, there are treatments to prevent death. Once milk production stops, farmers usually abandon cows rather than spend money on treatment. So, that becomes like an economic issue there. So, let us look at this issue of this cow, where one bull was actually treated, was operated on to remove this plastic bag, and this is from one of the scenario in India where it happened, and then we will close this video for this particular module. So, as you saw that the particular bull had so much plastic in its stomach. So, if it was not rescued, if they had not removed this plastic from its tummy, and this bull will feel full all the time, because the tummy is already full. So, it will not feel like eating, but it will not get any energy. So, what will happen? It will starve and then it will die. And so, similarly, had it been a cow with all this plastic in the stomach, and so again the milk production will go down, and whatever is the milk there, if the little bit of this plastic, whatever the plastic is there, if the chemical is leaching from this plastic into the body, that may potentially make way to the milk quality will go down, and we will be consuming those traces of chemicals, traces of contaminants from plastic into our through milk in our body as well. So, that is why these issues are very important. That is the reason why plastic waste is getting a lot of attention. So, its management of plastic waste is a huge problem. That is the reason why this course is to raise awareness on this particular issue. As I said earlier, it is a brand new topic with a brand new course with hardly any, but there is no textbook available. So, we are just kind of collating information from different places and trying to present to you the issue. And any comments you have, any feedback, if you know of some other better reports, or any even does not have to be a better report, or any other source of information that you would like to share for our enrichment in this subject area, please put it on the discussion board. We'll put the link on there so that other students can benefit from that as well. So, again, I hope that you are enjoying this course and so far, and we will continue our discussion further in terms of the impact of plastic, improper management of plastic on wildlife, and what is the impact on human health and environment in subsequent videos. Thank you.